What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? This is once again Scott Porter coming to you from Hyper RPG Studios in Studio City with the quick and dirty unboxing series. Not so quick yesterday on day one, but for day two of the quick and dirty unboxing series for Marvel HeroClix Earth-X. Dun dun dun! You see Captain America up behind me. You see Earth-X on there. You see Galactus in the background. He's a part of Earth-X. I don't want to spoil it. It is not the Galactus you know and love. It is a much different, much more powerful version with a much different goal in the universe. Galactus is back there. You got a little Spider-Man lamp in the back there. Spider-Dad is a major part of this set. Earth-X was just an incredible, incredible journey to walk through. And this year is the 20th anniversary of Earth-X, and I actually reread it coming into this unboxing series. And man, I am so stoked to see what we could have inside all of these boxes. I said it on day one. You do with the dawn of man and then the dawn of Superman, basically, and the fact that humanity starts out very early on. The Celestials are involved. The Deviants, the Eternals are involved. All of the gods and all of the idols of the human race are created very early on, and you kind of figure out why they all exist and how they were created and how they came to be. And then you have the golden age of heroes that happens, and we have our normal superheroes that we're so ready to read about all the time, the Avengers, the X-Men, all of that. And then you have Earth-X, where another evolution of man, like the fourth evolution of man, happens, and everybody gains superpowers. And then all of our superheroes that we know and love are trying to find their new place in Earth-X. If you haven't read it, you need to go read it. I'm going to try to not spoil as much as I can, but when I'm opening these and I'm seeing these versions of these characters that we know and love that were so well taken care of and shepherded throughout Earth-X, I might let a couple of things slip. It's 20 years since this book has come out, so I think the statute of limitations on spoilers are past here. But here we go. I'm just going to get into it. This is day two. If you didn't see day one, go back and take a peek and watch it. Like I said, we're at Hyper RPG Studios. This is their brand new studio. This is the first time I'm using some of these fancy schmancy cameras. We've got a close-up camera for the cards, so I'm not going to just be holding it up on my cell phone anymore. You can get really clear in focus looks at the figures and the cards. So I'm excited to have you guys along with me, and let's get cracking. All right. Yesterday we pulled a Prime. We pulled Venom, the Prime Venom. So very, very excited about that, and I can't wait to see what we get today. All right. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Holy crap. You guys might remember the last HeroClix set was Secret Wars Battleworld, and there were some characters missing from that. And it looks like we just picked one up here today, because that looks like Staygrande to me. That is awesome. Oh, I can't wait to see what Staygrande does. That is so cool. We've got Fancy Dan, one of the enforcers. We have, geez, some oldie but goodies here. This is Crime Master. You got Sandman, and you've got Silver Sable. Now, the only figure in this particular booster that really had a big part to play in Earth-X was actually Fancy Dan. So it seems that we've got a little bit of a subset or a sub-theme booster here, but still very, very excited to see. We haven't seen Silver Sable in a while. This Sandman, the sculpt, looks incredible. I don't know if you guys can see just how crazy that arm is coming out there. His feet are made of sand. He's coming up out of the earth. That is rad. Okay, I'm going to pop these guys out here. I'm very excited to see some of the Battleworld stuff continue, because there were so many really cool characters that, you know, we just couldn't pull all of them from that storyline and put them into a HeroClix set. So cool to see Staygrande make an appearance here. I can't wait to see what he does. He's not a super rare. I was thinking he was going to be a super rare in the last set, but because Earth-X has so many like awesome big hitters, I'm guessing probably Captain America is going to be a super rare. I'm guessing probably the Hulk is going to be a super rare. They probably just didn't have a lot of slots. The Staygrande is kind of the leader of Spider Island in the Secret Wars Battleworld, so that's really, really cool. Can't wait to see what Fancy Dan does. A martial artist of sorts. We got his pal Montana yesterday, who had a really cool lasso effect with his character card. So let's just get right into it. Let's start with Fancy Dan. He is a member of the Enforcers. He's set number 21. He's got Enforcers, Magia, and Martial Artist keywords. Oh, so this isn't an Earth-X version. Yesterday's Montana was the Earth-X version. So it looks like we're going to get 2 versions of the Enforcers in this set. You've got a new boss every week. At the beginning of the game, choose a friendly character that can use leadership or mastermind and a keyword. That character has Fancy Dan gains that keyword. This doesn't affect the theme team. So Montana had that yesterday. He also has a special damage power. You two mooks, listen up. Ranged combat expert. Choose 2 other friendly characters within range and with the Enforcer's keyword. This turn, those characters have free make an attack. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay. Flip the card over. He's got 2 clicks of that up front. He's worth 30 points, and you can see that old school Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man issue where the Enforcers came to play. That's really cool. Ox and Fancy Dan and Montana make up the Enforcers, and then they work under a lot of different, big bosses. I think one of them is Boss Man, or I think that was their, for a long time, their guy. But in Earth-X, they work under President Goblin. That's right. I said President Goblin. Yeah, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, is president of the United States in Earth-X. We is very scary. Very, very scary. All right, let's move on to Crime Master, another old school looking character. I love we got 2 guys with fedoras, the Fedora brothers in this particular booster here. They are both members of the Underworld. They have that new team ability on their dial there. It looks like brass knuckles instead of the old domino mask. All right, let's take a look at his card real quick. Crime Master. Oh, yep. New York crime boss. President Goblin had this yesterday, and looks like most of these big bosses are going to have the New York crime boss trait. Leadership Mastermind. When Crime Master uses leadership and succeeds, instead of removing an action token, you may generate 2 hired flunky bystanders. You can see that guy down at the bottom. He's also got a trait. The secret of Green Goblin is mine. Shape change. When Crime Master is KO'd, choose another friendly character. That character can use shape change this game. Also has a special movement power, gathering the gang leaders in secret, sidestep, and stealth. Old school character there for you. He's come back a number of times in different ways. Very cool. Got some willpower there. And got that traded mastermind going on. Let's move on to Silver Sable. We've not seen her in a while. She had the Wild Pack and Soldier keyword. She's set number 2. She has a trait, I work better with a team. During force construction, choose a named keyword. Silver Sable gains that keyword. And it doesn't say that it doesn't work with theme teams. So she does count, I think, for your theme teaminess in there. Pretty simple dial on the back. A couple of clicks of leadership. Some energy explosion. 5 range. Look at that. Look at that 90s art, guys. Oh, my goodness. Yep. Everybody had the big shoulder pads. Yeah, it's like Margot from National Lampoon's Christmas Story, basically. Everybody had basically that same, big shoulder pads, stuff like that. Yeah, Silver Sable, she looks like she wants to go flash dance there in that particular art. Let's move on to Sandman. Let's see. We got Avengers, Sinister Syndicate, and Wild Pack. Set number 6. This is William Baker, actually. This is very, very cool. He's got Sinister Six United. Now, yesterday we had Francine Fry Electro. She had the same trait. Stealth, but only if your force has 3 or more characters. Improved movement, ignoring hindering terrain, but only if your force has 5 or more characters. And modify all combat values by +1, but only if your force has exactly 6 characters, of course, in reference to the Sinister Six or the Sinister Syndicate. If you have exactly 6 characters, you're gaining that boost. Shifting Sands is his other trait. If Sandman has no action tokens, choose a standard power printed on this card that he can't already use. He can use that power until your next turn. Holy crap. I've been waiting for something like that on a Sandman, and wow, that's pretty rad. Only 5 clicks long, but remember, he's choosing a different standard power every single turn. If you want him to, he's only 50 points. He's going to be able to do an awful lot, so that is really cool. And there's Sable again. There was Flashdance Sable again, making a cameo appearance on Sandman's artwork on the back of his card. Now, to get into Staygrande. who I was really bummed wasn't in the last Marvel HeroClix set, but they atoned for it today. Let's take a look at what he has. He's set number 38, Battleworld, Spider Island, Shield, Savage Land, Sinister Syndicate, Animal, and Scientist. Oh my gosh, he can play with these other Sinister Sixers that we've been pulling with that Sinister Syndicate keyword. So that is awesome. He's got a trait, Retro Generation Ray. Yeah, ooh, mouthful. The bystanders printed on this card are dinosaurs. At the beginning of the game, generate one of each dinosaur. As a power action, generate a dinosaur if that dinosaur is not already on the map. Has another trait, Stampede, double power. This turn, Staygrande and his dinosaur bystanders have free move, then make a close attack. Oh my goodness. So basically like full movement charge for him and for the dinosaurs. Let's take a look on the inside and see what we got here. We've got a Stegosaurus, we've got a Brontosaurus, and we've got a T-Rex. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and wait a minute. Does the Stegosaurus have mystics? What is happening there? Oh my goodness. I'll have the Stegosaurus on the board at all times. I mean the Brontosaurus on the board at all times. All right, let's see. He's got charge. He's got those two traits. Pretty nasty dial. All for 75 points. That is insane. So you get the 3 bystanders and Staygrande all for 75 points. That mystic Stegosaurus is just so ridiculous. That's mystical. I love it. Oh, man. Staygrande, I am a huge fan of this particular booster here. We didn't have much Earth-X in it, but, you know, the sub-theme, that's what I love about HeroClix 2, is they always slide these sub-themes into the sets. And who doesn't want more Spider-Man villains? I feel like the last set was a little light on villains, and they were really balancing out the overall Marvel HeroClix collection with a lot of the villains in this set already. So I am very, very excited. And that's Staygrande. Man, I'm going to be using this guy as often as I can. All right, next booster here on day 2. Oh, I feel something rattling around in here. Let's see. Might have a little... Get a little look on the outside here. Let's see what's in there. Oh, at the top, that's X51. Man, I hope he gets a proper figure. I know he's on a token from the token and dice pack, but hopefully we get a full-sized X51. Oh, uh-oh. looks like we've got some separation of head and body here. And that is a lot of hair, and that is hair making a fist, folks. That is Medusa. Oh, man, I'm going to have to figure out a way to try and fix her so that you guys can take a proper look at her. Oh, and she's a super rare. No, my super rare broke in half. Ah, that's always the worst when you open. I'm going to have to package it up and send it back to them and try and get a proper version of her. Oh my gosh, yes! Rhino. I got Rhino. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, we got the Black Panther proper Earth-X version. And then we've got Luke Cage in Earth-X, who is... He's kind of like the police chief of New York. The first time you see him in Earth-X, he's having a conversation with Peter Parker, kind of trying to get Peter Parker to step back up and be a hero again. He's trying to get him to join the police force, actually, which is a really kind of cool little conversation between the two of them, kind of setting the tone for exactly who Peter Parker is going to be in the storyline. And I'm very gently setting Medusa down. You can now see, look at that giant hair fist. That is awesome. This sculpt is so cool. Man, the queen of the Inhumans, and they definitely made a sculpt worth that station. Wow. She looks so cool. You know, I said everybody that's involved earlier in Earth-X, but I did not say the Inhumans. The Inhumans are also involved in a gigantic way, in a very big way. I don't want to spoil exactly what they have to do with this kind of like fourth evolution of humanity, but yeah, they are very, very important to the overall arc of the storyline. Black Bolt doesn't say a word, and Medusa is kind of like the voice of all of the Inhumans in the story, so it's very cool to see her as a super rare. Hopefully they take great care of what powers they give her. All right, so let's get right into the cards here. All right, let's see. Let's start with, we also pulled Morbius. We pulled him yesterday. If you didn't see day 1, go back and watch it, and you can check him out there. I'm going to look at the Rhino first. We're going to keep up with this Sinister Syndicate roll that we were on from the last booster. Sinister Syndicate, Animal, and Brute has that Sinister 6 United trait. If you have 3 or 5 or 6 Sinister Syndicate members on your force, you gain different powers. Also has a trait, Mess with the Rhino, and you get the Horn. Knockback. I think my favorite Rhino story ever is when Deadpool turns him into a keychain, and then he just runs away with Deadpool's keys all the time. I think that's my favorite Rhino storyline, but I'm partial to Rhinos in real life, and I'm also partial to the Rhino in the comic books. So there's the back of his card. Very, very simple version of him, but I'm super excited to get a new version of the Rhino whenever I can. Let's move on to Luke Cage. Man, there was a brutal scene with Luke Cage in Earth-X where the Skull, who we haven't really seen yet outside of the starter pack, it's brutal. I don't want to get too into it, but basically turns his own squad against himself. But because they do, and he is Luke Cage, all of their bullets bounce off of him, and it's basically he watches his entire squadron go down trying to attack him. Luke Cage has Earth-X. He's got Heroes for Hire. He's got police keywords. He's set number 25. He's got a special movement power, Fists and Cuffs, Charge and Plasticity. A special attack power, Release My People Now, Quake. When Luke Cage uses it and targets at least 2 characters, you may choose to either modify attack by +2 or increase damage dealt to all targets by 1. Wow, 3 damage, Quake. Woo. Or a special damage power, Sergeant Cage of the NYPD Leadership. When Luke Cage uses it and succeeds, you may also remove an action token from all other friendly characters within 3 squares with the police keyword. If the result was 6, also remove an action token from Luke Cage. Wow, that is a very strong version of leadership. I'm excited to see that at work if you can build a police squad. There's the back of his card. Stats befitting of Luke Cage. He's somebody who really found his place in Earth-X. Luke Cage is a very interesting story or character within the story. Just him trying to, as he does in a lot of his stories, just take care of his neighborhood, basically. Take care of the people that he loves and cherishes most, and try to step up and lead them through whatever hard times they are going through. Let's look at Black Panther next. We saw Black Panther in the starter set yesterday. This is the main set version of him. He's got Earth-X, Wakanda, Animal, Ruler, set number 14. He's got a trait, Panther in title and form. Blades, claws, and fangs traded, also stealth. He's got a special defense power, discipline, dedication, and blessed of Bast. Yes, I said that right, I think. Combat, reflexes, super senses, and willpower. And he has a special damage power. The mantle of the Panther is that of a king. Leadership, outwit. When Black Panther uses leadership and the result is a 6, you may instead remove all action tokens from the chosen character and modify its attack by +1 this turn. So a lot of different versions of leadership we are seeing in this particular set, especially with Luke Cage and Black Panther back-to-back. His stats on the back. A really cool cover there from Universe X. But from what I know, we're mostly just covering Earth-X characters. I don't know that we're going to see a bunch of there's some different characters in Universe X and Paradise X, but I think they're just trying to really focus on Earth-X within this set, and they're doing a great job of it so far. We've got Medusa here, last but not least for today, day 2. We've got Earth-X, Inhuman, and Ruler, set number 60. She is a super rare. Real name, I'll let you guys handle that. He's got a trait, Terragenesis twice. When a friendly character targets Medusa with Perplex, after resolutions, roll a d6. If the result is less than Medusa's click number, modify the chosen value and additional +1. All Inhumans are going to have this trait. We saw it on Black Bolt as well. Special trait, Lethal Locks, Plasticity, Giant Reach of 3, Telekinesis as free, but replaced all 6 with 3 in the text of the power. Interesting. You guys math that one out. Special movement power, Lockjaw's Tuning Fork. Now, in Earth-X, Lockjaw is actually not to be found. She carries his tuning fork around, which breaks the hearts of all puppy fans, all space puppy fans around the world. But that's how a lot of the movement within the storyline, a lot of the Inhumans get around. Reed Richards kind of sneaks into some places. Captain America ends up somewhere he shouldn't be. That tuning fork comes into play an awful lot. So let's see what it does. It gives you free, improved movement for blocking terrain, elevated terrain, outdoor blocking terrain, hindering, allows you to have 2 passengers, but only to carry characters that share a keyword regardless of movement symbol. So she can carry flyers as long as they share a keyword with her. So Black Bolt can move with her, and she can move up to 3 squares. So they can move as a squad. And like I said, the Inhumans are incredibly important to this story, and I cannot tell you guys enough. If you haven't read this, go find yourself a copy, do yourself a favor, sit down one night, and just do it all in a night. It's going to take you a couple hours, but you're not going to want to stop reading. So just set aside an evening and spend some time with Earth-X, because it is incredible. Spending some time with Earth-X is something that WizKids has clearly been doing, and they are doing an amazing job kind of converting these characters into HeroClix form. Man, I'm super excited with what we pull on day 1 and day 2, but there are still so many characters out there that we haven't seen yet. There is a cursed version of Namor in the books that anytime he comes out of water, he lights on fire. And that's because at one point he murders Johnny Storm, and then Franklin Richards loses his mind and curses him. Basically, yes, fully curses him to be on fire for the rest of eternity unless he's back in his underwater kingdom. So that's just one of the crazy, crazy ideas that comes to light in Earth-X, and I can't wait to see if there's a Namor figure in this set. On fire. A flaming Namor. Flamor. Flamor? No, that's not. Don't hashtag that, guys. But there are so many other characters as well. We haven't seen Captain America yet. We haven't seen the Hulk yet. The way the Hulk operates in Earth-X is incredible. There's a young boy, Bruce Banner, and the giant Hulk, and they're separated. They're fully separated. And Banner sees through the Hulk's eyes, and it's their relationship is really interesting. 20 years before, or 18 years before we had a female Thor in the mainstream Marvel books, we had a female Thor in these books. Loki is a villain, or is he a hero? What makes a villain or a hero in the eyes of Asgardians or other gods, the gods of Olympus? How are they created? All of those ideas are in Earth-X. So hoping to see Thor, hoping to see Hulk, hoping to see Captain America. But what we have seen so far has been really, really cool, and I have very high hopes for the rest of the days of this unboxing. Thank you so much to WizKids for sending this out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to Hyper RPG Studios for letting me tape in their wonderful new digs. The set comes out in February. Pre-releases start in late January, so make sure you call your local brick-and-mortar comic shop or gaming store. Order a case, support them, and support your plastic crack addiction. That's what I call HeroClix sometimes. Plastic crack. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And until then, may all your rolls be critical hits.